Hello. Hi, everyone. What do we have in the house so far? Because it is 8.
Tara's here.
Hi, Tara. Nice to see you. That's it. I see Melody's name.
Melody.
Hi, Melody. Living our
Fred and
dream
Mel.
now. The Adele campers. Woo! I am sweating. I started cooking dinner literally like 30 minutes, no, 45 minutes or so ago. So I've been like rushing to get it done. To be able to sit here and chit chat with you guys and not have the stove going. And I finished cooking 3 minutes before 8 o'clock. Whew, it's hot. Standing in front of the stove always does that.
I just woke up from a nap.
Yeah.
So I'm a little out of sorts right now.
It's also the day before travel day. So Lou has also been working outside, putting away all the patio stuff. And we have the truck connected. So walking from the bedroom to the bathroom, it feels like climbing Mount Everest. Like this.
Yeah, the incline's pretty severe.
The incline is super severe, but I think it's not a big deal. It's only one night, and it really does help us for the next morning not to have to do that particular thing. So that's good.
Yeah, because I'm not good in the morning, and I'm the one that does it. So I think we would have to get up like a lot earlier for me to be able to like actually wake up and get like the blood circulating into the brain.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to even like move one foot in front of the other.
She doesn't have her first sip of coffee until we've already got it on the road.
Yeah. So we try to I usually start 2 days before. So 2 days before I start putting all the stuff, the chairs and lights and bird feeders and all those things away. And then the day before is when I like hook up. So that's when I put like all the those yellow pads. What are they called? Okay.
I guess the leveling blocks.
The leveling blocks and bringing the stabilizers up and hitching to the truck. So I do that the day before. So tomorrow when I wake up, all I have to do is walk out and disconnect the water, the electric, and the sewer, and we can leave.
Speaking of bird feeders, we did forget we have to take down the one that's against the window here next to me. Lou's sister for Christmas gave us one that has like suction cups that go against the window. And we have sunflower seeds, but they're like black oil seeds, something like that. Mm-hmm. And the birds love them, but the squirrels love them. We busted it out in Orlando and we didn't get any bird traction, at least on the one here on the window. The bird feeder outside that stands on the pole, yes.
Can I control your volume?
I think I'm a little hyper.
I feel like you're shouting at me.
I'm sorry. And I forgot what's the last campground we went to, but we didn't get any traction there either. But here, oh my God, a squirrel did get in there. Zephyr Hills.
In Claremont, right?
In one of those parks. Yeah, I forget which one.
Yeah, TTO.
But here we've gotten a lot of juvenile blue jays come and visit. I'm actually going to create a little reel tomorrow and put that on social. Mm-hmm. But every day they come. Some just come and grab the seeds and leave, while others stick around and they start like banging the seed against like the housing of the thing. And you hear cluck, 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 cluck. Cluck, 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 almost sounding like a woodpecker, because I guess they're trying to break the seeds open to eat them. But it's so freaking cute. I love it. All right. Well, I guess now that we're done with catch up, also killing some time to allow for others to get in here. Do we have anybody new?
No.
Any comments I need to address?
No.
All right. So then let's jump into it. Well, actually, before we jump into it, let me give you guys another update. Painting. We're done. We're 100%. We're 99% done. All the white is on the walls, on the cabinets, and the ceiling. The accent color is already in the kitchen. And the has chalk paint as well. So we have 3 different paints that we've been working with. Yesterday I did some touch up on the fridge, and today I did some touch up on the accent cabinets. So I just need to do a little bit of touch up with the white on different areas that, for example, when I closed the door in the bathroom to paint in there, I didn't wait for the door paint to finish drying. So when I opened it, it peeled off the edge again. So a little touch up and we're done.
Living our dreams says it looks really good in here.
Yeah. Well, we do have to make some changes back there. I haven't changed the sheets yet. I was tempted to get that changed for you guys today so you can kind of see the whole color scheme. But I think I want to wait till we're 1,000% done in here, at least with the paint touch-ups, before we do the cushion covers and the bedding.
Carol says it looks awesome in here.
Oh, thank you, Tara. So today's topic, which leads into the whole renovations, is stoves. So once we're done with painting, the next thing we're going to start working on is basically the kitchen counter, the dinette table, and the bathroom counter. The kitchen counter project entails also changing the sink, because we're going to get rid of the plastic sinks that RVs come with and get a metal sink, and the possibility of changing the stove. And I'm like in the middle. I'm not sure which direction to go in. The last RV that we had, we decided to change it. I'm not sure why. I think maybe we just didn't want to have the issue or worry about having propane, because we didn't really use propane for...
It was because of the counter space.
The counter space. That last RV, the counter space was much smaller than what this one is. This one isn't that much bigger, but still much smaller. So we got rid of that gas stove and got an induction stove.
Right, because the premise is that you're not using your stove all day long.
Right.
But the stove is taking that space the entire time. So you can't use that counter in any way.
Right.
And you guys that live in RVs know that, you know, this is a game of inches. That you need to sort of figure out things that become double use and things like that. So I thought, well, if we have an induction stove, number one, it's safer because you can touch the top and it doesn't, you know, burn you. And it's glass on top and easier to clean. Nothing's going to fall inside, that kind of thing. We could take it outside and cook outside if we want to. So we changed the counter, and where the hole was for the stove, it stayed as a counter. And I created a shelf under it, where Angie could take the stove and slip it under the, hiding under the counter, as if it would be a
little shelf underneath your cabinet,
or a drawer that you pull in and out.
True.
It was hiding under like that.
Yeah.
And then the whole time we had the counter, so you could prep on the counter, you could take the toaster out, you could make yourself a sandwich, you could serve yourself something to drink, anything, because we didn't have this table that we have in this RV.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So the idea with the induction stove this time would be a little different. So one, this would be a 2-burner.
Okay, yeah, because the other one was a single burner.
The other one was a single burner, and there's no need for Angie to struggle that much to cook.
I did tell her at that time that was my only regret, was getting a single burner, that if we ever went that route again, I want a double burner, because it kind of sucks having to wait till I'm done cooking one thing to have to cook another. Right,
exactly. So it would be a double burner, and it would have to fit in the section where the microwave is, because the configuration would be, the microwave is smaller than the hole that it's in right now, a lot smaller.
It is.
So I would build
basically
a shelf over the microwave, and the stove would slide under, and that would give us the entire space. In the renovations for the kitchen, this sink is a double sink.
It is a double sink.
It's a tiny double sink.
Yeah.
Might as well be a single sink.
One is super skinny, and then the other one is small. So small and smaller.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's going to get converted to one sink.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some space that we recover from that side as well. So the counter will be a little longer.
More space.
Right. So that would be the benefits of getting an induction.
Right. Definitely the biggest benefit is the spacing. Now, where my issue is coming into play is that now, after living in here since, November? And it's April, so 5 months, and we've been using the gas stove for 5 months. I've kind of gotten a feel for it. Like, I've never cooked with gas stove before because we had made that change before moving into it.
Right.
And as of recent or as of late, we've started to pop the breakers. So if the AC is running, and then I put the microwave in bake setting to, I don't know, maybe make some garlic bread, and I have the rice cooker going, and then maybe I take out the toaster. Or go ahead.
Or the Instant Pot.
Or the Instant Pot. Yeah, it's usually the AC, the microwave, or the Instant Pot. Or the AC, the microwave, the toaster, and the rice cooker. Like, so many things going, the breakers end up popping.
Right, so this is a 30 amp unit.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the capacity of it. The flip side of that is that we could run an extension cord outside because usually the boxes have an extra plug, and you could plug your Instant Pot by itself going outside. But yeah, the concern is that when she decides to use all those things at once, it usually pops a breaker.
So that is my fear. Like, okay, now with an induction top that I'm sure is going to pull a lot of electricity, is that going to pop when I have the AC going, especially now getting into summer? We're going to have that baby running.
Yeah.
Have the induction top going to cook dinner, and then maybe the microwave to perhaps make the side dish or whatnot. Like that, I think is going to be overpowering.
The thing is that the microwave that we have is a 3-way microwave, so it's a pretty power hungry unit.
Yeah.
And then the induction stove will probably be, if she's running both burners at the same time at max, it would probably be 1800 watts. My only concern is I want the AC to continue going. If she needs to use the microwave, then she needs to wait to use the microwave. If she needs to use the Instant Pot, then she needs to wait. Or I need to just run an extension cord from the kitchen to that little window, and we plug it outside, whatever else you're running.
Find that a little podunk. So you guys can obviously wear loose stands because she's standing on the side of the induction stove, since she's fighting back with everything I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I think so what I like about the induction is that I don't have to worry about getting propane.
Right.
I'm always concerned, oh my God, did I run out? We have 2 tanks.
We do have 2 tanks, and it lasts forever. Plus, I mean, we don't always shower inside the RV too. We do, just not all the time. We usually pick the campground bathrooms because it's unlimited hot water. And a lot of times the pressure is better. So, but when we do find that the bathrooms are not so nice, then we opt out of using that campground bathroom. Or if it's too far, then again we opt out of that and we use ours. But
I like having the extra counter.
Yes, that is the most appealing part.
So I like having the extra counter. I'm not necessarily more for the induction than for the gas. I don't like the flame of the gas. It's a little freaks me out a little bit. I have like a live fire inside the RV. Right. But I like that it's there all the time. Like, I don't have to take it out and put it on.
I mean, you don't do any of that anyways. I'm the one that cooks the majority of the time.
I do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do cook.
You do cook. I just cook the majority of the time.
But I do cook. So whenever I do cook, I want it to be as easy as possible. And having it ready, set, go is pretty ready. You know, pretty cool.
I agree with that part too.
Yeah. So
we were thinking of maybe flipping the stove portrait wise instead of landscape wise, because then that'll give us some space. Not as much space, because it's still going to be there all the time. So yeah, now's a great time to chime in and pick your brains on the pros and cons that we may or may not be missing, and get your advice. Maybe a poll as to which one you think we should go with.
That running that extra cord, the Adele campers, Fred was the one that taught me that.
Oh yeah. Fred is very handy.
He was the one that told me, I forgot what it was that I was talking to him about, and he said, oh, just run another extension cord. We do it all the time.
I think since you gave her that advice, she's been doing that with the e-bikes. Instead of plugging in the e-bikes into the RV, now she has an extension cord running directly to the electric pole thing, and she charges the e-bikes from there.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
That was very clever.
Life with Adrian and Ruth.
Hi, guys. Thank you for coming. I just made some curry coconut vegetables for Lou's dinner, and it smells so good. Boricua in the house.
Oh, I can't spell today.
So
yeah, so then the gas would be.
But people's thoughts. Has anybody chimed in?
Well, I don't think we talked about the gas part.
Okay.
So the gas would be when I put the new counter in.
Oh yeah.
We would cut it. The stove is this way now. So now we would cut it this way, and that would create again space on both sides of the counter, smaller spaces on both sides of the counter. But nonetheless, it would give us some space. Or we move it all the way to one corner, the sink all the way on the other corner, and the center is like the biggest part of the counter.
Okay.
Which is probably the better idea.
Right. When you said gas, I thought you were gonna say what you ended up doing with the gas line in the last RV when we got rid of the gas stove and then bought an induction stove.
I just plugged it.
Okay. I don't know if it was anything like, special or hacky that you may have done, because I don't do any of that stuff. Lou does it all.
Nothing.
So to me, I saw her doing it. I'm like, oh, that's very smart.
You just go to Home Depot and you buy the plug for it.
Okay, all right. Well, what do I know?
So Adele campers, in our 30 amp RV, I mounted a 20 outlet inside and wired it to a 20 amp receptacle outside. It was how we ran our washer and dryer. Very genius. Yes, I don't think I want to do that though. Okay. I'm trying to do the least that I can. I would probably just go with the cheater. What is it? Cheater cord? Is that what you called it? That's what I would probably go with.
Cheater cord?
Yeah, the extension cord that we just talked about.
Okay,
Life with Adrian and Ruth. Can you share with Ruth some tips for painting the cabinets? She'll be busy soon, Adrian.
I know. So
Melody, I like the gas stove, but don't use the oven part.
Okay. We busted in the Adele's campers oven for the first time when we cooked at her place. She told me she had never done it, and I made a big lechon asado, big pork in her oven.
Yeah. If we had a stove with a gas oven, we would not change it.
No, I think I would keep it. I would definitely keep it. I cooked with the oven a lot when we were in Sticks and Bricks.
And I feel very comfortable cooking with the oven because it's very controlled heat.
So, Adrian, we made the mistake in the previous rig, all the gray paint that we had done, we did it with satin or semi-gloss. I don't remember which one of the two. That paint at the time was chipping a lot, especially in high areas of usage like cabinets. You go and you open up the cabinet, believe it or not, our fingertips are constantly scraping it. So that paint starts to chip off, and it just bubbles and it looks bad. And we touched up the paint over there, several times in the 2 years that we lived in it. And I kind of had that in the back of my mind, not to use that paint again. And my son's a professional house painter. And he gave me the advice of choosing. You're gonna
Sorry, I'm dying of thirst.
She's getting ice right now.
I'm dying of thirst. I'm sorry. This is real life.
He suggested flat paint. He said it dries easier, it goes on faster, and it's easier to cover up. Whereas also with satin, when you go and you do touch-ups, you will always see that, difference in the original versus the touch-up. But Lou had done some research. And I think my concern at the time was what cleans the easiest, right? Especially in a kitchen that's high use. Satin is the one that's easiest to clean. You can wipe it down and it's good to go, whereas flat isn't so easy to clean. But when it comes...
It's more porous.
Yeah. I mean, you can still clean it. It's just not as easy, I guess. It might take in a little bit more scrubbing, which might lead to some of the paint coming off. But now that I chose satin again a second time, going against my advice from my first time painting and going against what my son recommended, I really regret it. If I can go back and not get this white in satin, I would have gone with flat again. Mm-hmm. You too?
I don't care. I hate painting. It
does
for the record,
longer.
if we were doing it again, let's please not do it. That is always the answer. If you need a box build, I will help you.
Yeah.
But if you want that box painted, lose my number. I hate painting.
Yeah.
And I'm really bad at it. All I did in here, this that you see, you guys, this entire RV is 99.9% Angie's painting.
Mm.
Everything that I did that was painting, I messed it up.
She didn't mess it up. I just had to touch it up.
I messed it up. And I try so hard and I study what she's doing and then I try and do it and it just, you know, I think in life you just got to know what you're good at and what you're not.
I think she was being very, she was trying to reserve as much paint as possible instead of letting that sponge really soak it in. So that's another tip is go flat. You're going to be able to get more coats done in one day. So you'll be finished with your project a lot faster than we were. 2, get multiple sponges for big areas where you have a lot of
when you say a sponge, what are you talking about?
I'm gonna explain those now.
Okay.
So the big rollers, get the big rollers because if it's a big space, for example, above our windows, those are big wide spaces. You're gonna get as much paint on as possible, but also get the short rollers because RVs, all of our walls are super tiny. So there's a lot of really small areas. So you want the small roller as well. So both can be found at Dollar Tree.
Adrian and Ruth say that they have satin, but it's enamel. So we can't really help you with that.
Yeah, it's the same. Satin is basically
it's just
the same.
Our cabinets for now, laughing out loud.
Yeah. You're going to regret it later, but you're still going to enjoy it. It's going to look good. Not a problem. You're just going to notice with time that as you touch those cabinets and open up and close those cabinet doors over and over and over again, as the months start to pass, you're going to start seeing it start to chip around the handles and around all the edges.
So what I would recommend is buy bumpers for everything that you paint. For like the doors or the drawers, put little bumpers, because now that you've painted it, when you open and close the door,
it's going to peel the paint.
It's going to hit. It's going to either stick to it or it's going to start hitting it. It's going to start nicking the paint.
Right.
If you put little bumpers, little rubber bumpers on the top and on the bottom of the drawers and on each edge of the drawers, as it comes in, it softens the blow, so it makes it quieter, which is a plus, but it also prevents the paint from chipping off.
Right.
And if you're taking the hardware off the cabinet doors or the drawers, what I do is...
Oh, yeah. That's a good tip. This is a really good tip. And she learned that from her mistake with the first RV.
What I do is when I take off the hinges, the hinges usually have a plate, and that plate goes against the door. So on the back of the hinge, I write a number. Let's say I start on 1. That's hinge 1. And where that hinge was on the back of the door, I write number 1, so that hinge goes back to exactly the same place, not, exactly the top where it was, exactly the door that it was, because the wood is sort of flexed in a way that if you interchange those hinges, when you go to put them back, the doors kind of like move in a different way. The other thing that I did is that for all the hinges that I took out that came from the cabinetry or the wall, I buy little, got them at the Dollar Tree. I don't know if they sell them anywhere else, but it's like a little box of wood toothpicks. The idea that people put wood pieces in their mouth seems weird to me because they break so easy.
They do.
That's
so dangerous.
That doesn't make any sense.
Get a splinter next to your tooth.
Anyways, so the screw that you take out of the cabinet, the little hole that it creates, you stick the little wood toothpick in it and break it off. And you do that to every little hole. That way, when you go put the screw back in, it has more grip because you filled it in with this little piece of wood. So those are all the things that I did that were not painting, but they were part of the painting.
It's part
of the process of getting ready for that. And then once I have all the hardware, for instance, let's say all the hardware that went on the bottom cabinetry of the kitchen, I put it all in saran wrap. I wrap it all in there. They're all numbered already, and I put it in that cabinet. And then if I have like the top cabinet, it has 3 drawers. When I took all those off, I numbered everything. I put it in saran wrap, and I put it in that cabinet. So when we come back to put everything back together,
your cabinet, tape that. If you have your exhaust underneath your cabinet, tape that. Satin, more than likely you're gonna have to do that second coat the next day unless you start early in the morning and you do one in the morning and one at night or something like that. You want to remove that tape as soon as possible because the longer it sits, the paint starts to dry with it, and because it's satin, when you remove that tape, it's gonna peel paint off of your cabinet areas with it. So what I did, and I know you already saw that tip on stories, is I run a knife around the edge so like that when it peels, it's not peeling the wall or the cabinet with it. But there are times it does take bits and pieces. So with that recommendation, when you're getting your big sponges, brushes, rollers, if you get them at Dollar Tree, because they sell both the small ones and the big ones there, also get like the little crafter paint brushes, because that's something you can go back in those little skinny lines that peeled off. You can just touch that up with those very skinny paint brushes. That's what I did with the fridge, and you cannot tell that it's ever needed touch up or it's been touched up. It looks perfect.
Yeah. I love the fridge. We put
she's really happy with the chalk paint.
Yeah, we put chalk paint on it, and it's like solid black now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just really like the way it stands out.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of being able to like draw on there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you, I don't know if I can, but I can give you guys like a quick little tiny glimpse. So, woo-hoo. I'm hoping I'm angling that right. I don't see it on the TV yet. So there is sage green on the kitchen cabinets, and then there is the chalk black on the fridge.
Yep.
All right, so let me see if I can put this back where it was. I'm sure I can. So you got a little sneak peek if you haven't been watching Instagram and seeing the stories to see what those colors look like. So those are my tips for that.
Living our dream. Love the sage green.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Love that green a lot.
Lou wanted to go with like a
Sooner Than Later RV is here.
Hi, hey guys, thank you for joining.
And they said they love how everything's coming along.
Thank you so much. Lou wanted to go with like a modern farmhouse decor kind of theme. So all of the artwork that you saw in the previous RV that was throughout the RV, it's not going to be out here anymore, even though I want it out here because I love it. It's things that hold, value to our hearts. But she says it'll clash the decor. So our bathroom is the modern art.
Yeah, the bathroom is now called the BART.
The BART. Bathroom art.
Bathroom art. So all our, we have a Logan Hicks of my niece, which is,
it's a combination of
signed.
It was a photograph, and then he also painted, right? It was a combination of both.
It's an assigned project for him, and we have a brito in there, and then I have my photographs of the
Twin Towers.
Twin Towers in New York, and then we have a little commissioned art of one of my chichis on wood. We have another one on wood, which is a bass player that my sister got me, since I'm an ex-bass player. And then we have what we call the Artamelon.
Oh yeah.
Which is I have a tattoo on my leg that my niece drew when she was 8 years old.
8 years old, yeah.
And then when she turned 18, she drew the modern version of it.
Right.
She painted
the modern. So we have that up on the wall.
And gave it to me for Christmas, so we have that on the walls.
Right.
So all of that is in the bathroom. So the bathroom is now the BART.
Right. So I'm gonna have some decal lettering up there that will be getting soon at the next campground. It's already been shipped from outside the 303. There are RVers here on Instagram and Facebook that I saw her doing custom decals, and I reached out to her and gave her the idea that I wanted, and she put it together and she shipped it out. So that's going to go up there along with some other little things.
Adrian, Ruth says that she really likes how bright it is in here. Yes. The amazing bright color and cheery. That's what she wants for hers. That hers is too dark and dreary.
Yeah. Paint makes a world of a difference. With the last one, we did the walls gray, And we did the cabinets. Gosh, I don't even remember.
The walls were white and the cabinets
there
were
you
gray.
go. That's what it was. The walls were white and the cabinets were gray. And it was just as bright. And that's when we realized white is definitely the way to go, especially if you're a vlogger. You want good lighting in here. And Lou did change out all the lights to which one did you choose?
They're white.
Just cool white or
just white?
White. And that helped a lot with the lighting too, because the original lights that came in here are the little bulbs instead of the LEDs.
The incandescent, yeah.
And they were warm. They were very yellowish.
Very yellow, yeah.
Yeah, so that helps a lot with...
Yeah, but now we have white walls and white
so we're getting
bulbs,
washed out.
and I need to wear sunglasses.
She calls it the landing strip because I walk through and I turn on light. I turn on light. I turn on light. And I leave all the lights on. And she's like, what's going on? The landing strip for air.
From the bathroom,
From
this RV inside is 19 feet.
Yeah.
And from the bathroom all the way to on top of the bed, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights. Yeah. 6 double lights. All the way.
And they turn them all on as I start walking by. And then she'll come behind me and start turning them off.
And that's without counting the light that's above the dinette, the light kitchen. That's above the kitchen.
And there's another one in the bathroom too above that.
And there's a second one.
Cabinet.
Yeah. So I mean, I just.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's way too many lights.
Like,
in it.
Why do you need so much light in such a tiny space?
Why do you turn them on then?
I don't know. It's just habit. I used to do that living in sticks and bricks too. I'd walk into a room and I'd turn on the light, walk into the next one and turn on the light.
Yeah.
And then I never turned it back off. And our electric bill was through the roof.
So we got to go back to topic.
The stove. So did anybody tell us what they have or what they prefer, what they suggest?
Well, Melody said that she prefers her gas stove.
Okay.
That's all I saw here.
Did she say why does she prefer gas over electric or induction?
No idea.
Because that time is coming. That's probably happening next week or maybe at the latest the week after that. So that is the next project, is the counters and changing out that sink. So we need to make a decision on the stove ASAP.
Yeah, we need to make a decision.
And from you guys seeing at the beginning, I'm kind of leaning towards the gas and she's kind of leaning towards the induction.
Doesn't really matter what I want because, like she said, she cooks most of the time.
But I do want that counter space.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Sooner than later RV, we have an induction stove top.
Okay.
How do you like it? Is it a double, 2-burner, or is it a single burner?
Yeah. We had a single before and I didn't enjoy that too much. So we'll see what she says about that. It performed great. It did.
But it was, and it took me a long time to use that. I was literally like intimidated by taking the stove out and putting it on the counter and connecting it. Like that was too many steps for me. It felt daunting.
Yeah.
So let's see, Adrian and Ruth, I have gas and I love it because when we go boondocking, we can cook. Right. So we have a camping stove.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We have a camping stove that uses propane and butane. Mm-hmm. It's a single burner, but in that case, should we lose power, which we have in Florida, or should we go camping or boondocking, we have an alternative stove.
Yeah.
So that would not necessarily be a deal breaker.
Yeah. I guess not. Or barbecuing.
Or barbecuing.
Yeah. I think my thing with wanting the extra space is that I don't always use the stove. A lot of my meals I do cook stovetop, but a lot of times I also use the microwave and bake setting or air fry setting. Or I'll take out my Instant Pot and I'll use it as pressure cooker. I'll use it as saute. I'll use it as air fryer because it's the dual. So a lot of times I use that instead. So I have all this wasted space on the counter when I could put my Instant Pot up there instead. For now, I can't even put it on the counter. I have to open up that little flip up on the side of the counter or use the dinette to be able to use the Instant Pot because I don't have that space.
Right. So you would be able to cook it with the Instant Pot also.
Exactly.
So Adele Camper says gas, but don't throw away the induction cooktop. We don't have an induction cooktop.
We don't have it anymore. Yeah.
We had it in the previous RV, but we don't have it in this one.
Yeah. See, the thing what happened with the last RV is that Geico told us that everything that was in there needed to stay in there in terms of what was in there when we got it. And if there was anything that we upgraded, such as the microwave, such as the fridge, such as the stove, if the original wasn't there, whatever we upgraded needed to be there.
Right.
Which didn't make sense to me because, I mean, this is going to go to a salvage junkyard anyway. So who cares if I take out what we've invested in to put in there? And this is an argument I had with them, but they said no, that if when they came to pick up the RV, I needed to have everything. So since we had taken out that gas stove, we left the induction stove.
So, living our dream now suggested the cutting board over the thing, which we've done before.
That's true.
It'll raise it a little bit too high.
Yeah, that's
for
true.
the Instant Pot.
Yeah,
it would work as a chopping board, but for the Instant Pot, it wouldn't work. But we did have that option with the other RV when we bought it.
Yeah,
it actually came with it.
Right.
And we actually didn't like it.
Yeah. Another thing is that with that option in the last RV, that totally would have worked because Lou took off the extractor fan.
Yeah, because it was a fake extractor.
Yeah, it wasn't really extracting outside.
Right. It didn't have the exhaust going outside. It was a sealed wall. So it was just circulating inside of the RV.
So now we had extra height space as well. So I didn't have that issue of, like, now if I were to put a chopping block or my cutting board on top of the stove and put my Instant Pot there, yeah, it'll fit there, but I won't be able to get my arm in there to take off the top, take out the top.
Right.
And be able to work in there because the extractor is so low, and this one's a real one, so we don't want to take it out. Much less with the top for the bake setting, air frying setting, that top won't fit in there with the air fryer and the cutting board. It's too high.
If I could, I would remove the extractor because to me it seems cumbersome. It makes that area look very cavey, very like. But it actually does what it's supposed to do. It's actually an extractor, and it has the exhaust on the other side of the RV.
Right.
The other one didn't have an exhaust.
It's so weird.
Believe it or not, a lot of RVs have the extractor, but they don't have the exhaust on the outside.
She always notices that now when she looks at RV, she's like, oh, they don't have an extractor type of fan.
They don't have an exhaust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So weird that they
we're still on the fence, I guess.
I think I'm starting to lean a little bit closer to the space, especially now that I started talking about the Instant Pot again. Because it is nice to be able to have it there on the counter, me chop and throw things in. I don't know, but I'm afraid of the electric popping, the AC blaring, and then me deciding to turn on the microwave, and then poof, the electricity pops, and then I have to stop one to be able to turn on the other. So that's my biggest concern.
We have the cheater cord.
Yeah.
You know.
I just find that so podunk. You guys don't.
You're calling for a podunk.
I'm sorry, Fred.
What's wrong with you?
Running an extension cord from inside to go outside.
You live in an RV.
I don't know. I think that's weird. Besides, Fred, does anybody else do that here? I would love to know. I don't know.
Whatever works. Whatever works. The AC. I'm sorry. The microwave. It's on its own circuit.
That one does have its own electric outlet.
It's on its own circuit. So
yeah, but still,
that's exactly what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's a 30 amp. It is what it is.
Okay.
You know. It's even running on its own, and it's it's very powerful because it's a 3-way. If it was a smaller microwave, then it might not do it. But I think it's 1,500 watts, the microwave that we have. Right.
So far, only Sooner or Later RV are the ones that have an induction. So they're probably the only ones that are rooting for that route. Hi, Doreen. Nice to see you, Camping Therapy. You came in just at the end. Now, girl, you know that we only do this for half an hour. Lou starts cutting me off. So you got here right before Lou was about to tell me that's it. Time. I'll sit here and chat with you guys all night.
Oh, yeah, she will. She will go from one topic to another.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so Living Our Dream says, basically write a pros and cons list.
Yes. I do that for a lot of things.
So later, we can't use our air fryer and induction at the same time. So that part is cumbersome, but we improvise in other ways. And just really good at improvising. Don't let her fool you. Don't let her fool you. She's very good. She 2 years she cooked with a single induction stovetop.
Yeah, I did.
And you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell the difference now of her cooking with 2 burners versus 1.
She's just being too kind.
She's just overthinking it. That's all. She's just overthinking it. But she would get a plan like, oh, I'm doing this and this and this first because I can sit, and then okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And this would be less. You have to be less strategic doing this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, when you had the one burner, you also didn't have the rice cooker.
Right. I didn't have a rice cooker at the time. You're right. I would make the rice also stovetop. So I'd always be like, okay, I'm cooking the rice first, and now I can go ahead and start working on the other sides and the meat and all that stuff.
And our rice cooker is like a toy.
It's small.
It's like this. Seriously, it's like this big.
Yeah.
It's like that big.
I can make raw rice, like uncooked, like a cup and a half at most will fit in there. So 3 cups of water. That's it.
So it makes double that.
Yeah.
So
Usually
3 cups.
rice is considered half of that. So at most 3 cups of rice.
Cooked rice.
Yeah.
Which is more than enough for the 2 of us. And it's a very small one, and it doesn't draw a lot of power.
No, it's great. It's a little Black & Decker back there. Well, can't see it in the video.
Sooner than later seems like it's a perfect size.
Yeah.
Living our dream. No. She can cook on anything. I have a feeling. You're right. You're right, Ruth. You're right. This lady can cook on anything.
Ruth can cook too.
And it'll taste amazing.
I saw her pollo guisado, what we call fricasse de pollo.
I saw her making it too. I was peeking in.
Oh no, that looks good.
I was peeking in. We still cook rice on the stovetop.
I mean, it's so easy. Rice is like one of the easiest things to make.
Angie has like some sort of connection with the rice gods. Because I fail even with the rice cooker. I fail.
When Lou makes her sushi, she's like, "You're in charge of the rice." She wants that sticky rice. Yeah. Well, she does already have an induction top in the Amazon cart, just waiting to see if that's the route I go, and it looks good.
Tara said that you do cook good.
Thank you, Tara.
I was just thinking about
I think the only ones Tara has had my cooking. Mary and Fred from Adult Campers have had my cooking, and Melody and Lou. Melody and Lou have had my cooking, and Ruth today said that we need to get together and cook the same thing, like she does it Puerto Rican style, and I do it Cuban style. I think that would be so dope. That's a great idea. I think that would be so dope because I mean, our foods, because we're Hispanics, are very similar, but there's also a lot of different technicalities. So you can have that same meal from a Puerto Rican or a Dominican or a Cuban, and it'll taste completely different from all of us. Well,
like they make gandules, but we don't.
We don't. That's definitely a dish that Cubans don't make.
Yes,
and you like it.
I love it.
She does love it.
I love that. I love it. It's so good. I love it. And I don't get to have it.
No, I don't know how to make it.
I think the last time I had it, Ed's mom made it.
Yeah. Our extended Puerto Rican family.
Why can't I remember Ed's
Orlando.
Mom?
Alma,
thank you. Alma made it for me.
Yeah.
I had wanted, and she had made it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Probably 10 years ago.
Really long time ago.
Yeah.
You haven't had it. Maybe Ruth will make you some arroz con gandule.
Ruth.
Or teach me how to make it for you. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, so
you'll know in the next week or two.
Is Lou, really? I'm Cuban.
We're both Cuban. The only difference is that she was actually born in Cuba.
Yeah, I'm a mixed mutt.
She was born in Cuba. I was born in Miami.
Yeah, I'm a mutt. Yeah, I have a huge mix in my background. My parents were born in Cuba, but my grandparents on my dad's side are Lebanese. My grandfather on my mom's side is Mexican. So that's, I think, why some people have a hard time pegging
your nationality.
But
Lebanese, Mexican, Cuban.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's too much.
Yeah. Not me. I'm not that exciting. Both of my parents were born in Cuba. all four of my grandparents were born in Cuba, and all of my great grandparents, well, no, not all, from mother's side Cuba, from father's side Spain.
Roof is down.
Yeah.
For the gandules.
Yeah.
She says we're gonna do it. She makes the best arroz con gandules.
Oh my God, you're drooling.
Oh, mom's watering.
So next week or at the latest, the week after that, you guys will know definitely which route we take with the stove, because we'll either show it during our live, or if you're on social and following us there, you'll probably see snippets of me doing it up, because everybody on social got snippets of me painting and all the updates with that instead of having to wait for the vlog.
So camping therapy, she says Hispanic, and that is correct. We are Hispanic.
We are, not Latin.
We're not Latin America. So you would have to have been born in Latin America to be Latin American. But the people from Mexico
and
Puerto
the Caribbean,
Rico, Cuba, were Hispanics.
Right.
So that is correct. We are Hispanic.
Right. Mexico is the only one that's not like an island that's considered Hispanic, but everybody else, that's like the Caribbeans, the Cubans, the Dominicans, even though they share the island with Haiti, and Puerto Ricans, who were all considered Hispanics. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is 8:46. My computer is dying. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I was gonna throw her under the bus for no.
You throw me under the bus for anything. We are still at the fence, but I guess when you see our renovations, you'll know the answer.
Yeah. We'll definitely keep you in the loop next Tuesday, which route we chose, because by then we would have made a decision, because we would have bought it so that we can receive it and start working on it.
Right. We would have made a decision. I don't know if we would have been done by then, but it's a lot of work that's upcoming.
Yeah.
Right
now. Not done.
Some really big projects coming up, which is all three counters, the kitchen counter, the bathroom counter, and the table all have to match. I'm saying that loosely. Then I have to.
This is where it's her part of the job and I'm helping. See, whereas the painting, it was my job and you were helping. So now the tables are flipping.
We have to silicone the entire exterior of the RV because rainy season is up right.
Hurricane season, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know, but when we were in Claremont, one of those vicious winds that you get where you're in Claremont.
No, nobody knows. I didn't share it on social.
Tore our awning. We have the new awning fabric, so we have to reinstall the awning fabric. So those are three huge projects that are upcoming that I'm hoping to get done in the next 3 weeks.
In the next campground.
So
so
camping therapy, no silicone, use
levets.
Levets. I don't know how to say that.
Lexel.
Lexel. What is that?
Maybe there's a typo. Maybe she meant level.
No.
Use level. Lexel.
Do share?
Yeah, or Google it.
Or we'll Google it.
Lexel.
I went from
Google it.
That's my answer for everything. I went from white silicone, which I don't really like.
A dicor guy.
A dicor
yeah,
guy.
Of course. Yeah.
But dicor's for the roof.
For the roof, not like the window seals or the garage seal.
The roof is already done.
The sewer and electric seal.
The roof has already been done. I already did the roof. I did the dicor. I did the Eternabond.
And then you put lap sealant.
Yeah, I did all that already.
Which is the dicor.
That was done already.
Yeah.
Dicor for the roof, 100%. But I'm talking about sealing the windows and all the little exterior things.
To make sure we don't get a breach of water from the sides coming in.
Silicone is something I've always used. With the other RV that we had, when we bought the RV had a water breach, and as part of the agreement to buy the RV, they repaired the entire front cap of it, and they did an amazing job. Sent video of every step of the way.
There's actually a vlog on that with Scott.
And we spent a lot of time with Scott, and Scott has been in the RV industry, specifically on the repair side of things, for over 30 years. And he just shared a lot of knowledge with me. Yeah. And I learned a lot during that couple of days that I spent with him. And so that's why I use silicone on the outside. He explained to me a lot of good reasonings for it. I don't like the white silicone.
No.
I don't like the way it shows, and I don't like how dirty it gets.
Yeah.
Gorilla products are some of my favorite products from Gorilla, and they make a silicone that does not yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been using that for a really, really long time, and it really doesn't yellow. Even in the hot summers of
South Florida.
South Florida. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm still going to check out this
what
product.
You're recommending, Lexel.
Yeah, I'm still going to look at it because I like to learn. But I already bought this silicone. So more than likely, it's not going back.
Yeah, she was already prepping to get that project done.
Yeah. Silicone doesn't stick to silicone, so you can only use it once, and good luck removing it, Fred.
Remember we did that in the last RV all the way around.
Thanks for the tip, Fred.
But she takes off what's already there, and then she goes back, cleans it, and puts fresh one on.
Yeah, I've got a whole process.
And she finds it kind of like, I don't know,
it's a very zen,
soothing. Yeah, just there doing that repetition.
Yep.
Cleaning in and just being so meticulous.
I put my earbuds on and I'm good to go.
Yeah. So we'll see.
But I do appreciate all the tips.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's 8:51.
Wow.
We're still on the fence.
Yeah.
But you guys will know by next week what we decide on.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for joining us today. Thanks for spending time with us.
Yes.
You could have been anywhere else, but you were here with us, and we really